What's up, Pokemon trainers? It's Saturday night, and if you watched the last episode, you know that I broke my lens at the end of my camping trip. So, I have no gameplay footage from today, but I have a new lens now, and I'm going to make the most of it by answering a ton of questions that you guys have been asking in the comments. What level do you have to be to join a team? At level 5, when you visit your first gym, you'll be asked to join a team. Should I evolve then power up, or power up then evolve? The truth is, it doesn't matter. You can do it either way, and the Pokemon will still end up at the same maximum CP. The way that I do it is I collect candies until I have enough to evolve the Pokemon, and then I choose the Pokemon with the highest CP and evolve that one. I don't power up Pokemon until they're evolved to their final stage. How do I get candy for my Charmander if there are no wild ones? Well, there are wild ones, they're just rare. So you have to catch Pokemon to get candy, and starters are rare, so you just have to look a little harder to find them. If you drive around, does it count as walking distance for eggs? No, it does not. If you go over a certain speed, the game doesn't register your distance as walking. I've been able to ride my skateboard around, and the game still counts that distance, and I would guess that that's 10 miles an hour at most. Will you only be notified of nearby Pokemon while on the app? Yes, the game does not notify you of anything that's going on with the app closed. You have to have the app open and on your screen in order to be able to get notifications. Why you lucky? Get ducked. Thanks. I did catch a Psyduck today. What do the footprints under the Pokemon on the nearby tab mean? The footprints represent distance, and the more footprints there are, the farther the Pokemon is away from you. In the beta, we actually got a number measured in meters of how far the Pokemon were. The maximum distance was 200 meters, and once you got within about 40 meters, a Pokemon would spawn on the map. So my estimate is that each footprint represents about 50 meters. If there are no footprints under the Pokemon, that means it's within 50 meters and it's within spawning distance. How do you get candy? To get candy, you have to catch Pokemon. When you catch a Pokemon, you'll get 3 candies specific to that species. When you transfer a Pokemon to the professor, you get 1 candy for that species. Which team is the best? Team Instinct, obviously. How do you use incense properly? When you use incense, you'll have a pink dust animation around your character for 30 minutes, and Pokemon will be attracted to you, so you don't actually have to go out and move around to find them. Incense doesn't affect Pokemon that are showing up in your nearby Pokemon list. The Pokemon that spawn when you're using incense are completely different from those that show up in the nearby list. So if you're in your house at night and you see a rare Pokemon on your nearby list, using an incense won't bring that Pokemon closer. It'll make different Pokemon show up at your location. What happens when your Pokemon lose HP in a gym fight? How do you get the HP back up? You can find potions, super potions, hyper potions, and max potions from Pokestops, and that's the only way to heal your Pokemon at the moment. Can I empower my Pokemon in the gym or maybe evolve it later? No. Once you drop a Pokemon off at a gym, you can't interact with it until it's beaten and returned to your inventory. Do the types have effects in battles? Yes, they do. Type advantage is implemented in this game. So if you're in a battle and you use a move that's super effective, you will see that show up. And super effective means that the move deals double damage. Not very effective means the move deals half damage. And for those of you who might be new to Pokemon, I'll put a link to type advantages down in the description so you can check that out. How did you get 1000 XP for capturing that Nidoran? I'm only getting 600 per new Pokemon. I'm using Lucky Eggs, which is an item you can buy in the shop, and it doubles your experience for 30 minutes. Will there only be Gen 1 Pokemon? For now, yes, but Niantic and the Pokemon Company have confirmed that they're planning to add all 721 Pokemon eventually. More if you're counting Gen 7. Can you use a treadmill to hatch an egg? No, you can't. And the reason is the app doesn't actually count the number of steps you're taking, it counts the distance that you've traveled. The way it works is every once in a while the app checks in with the server, and it checks to see how far you've traveled since the last time it checked in with the server. Why do I spin the ball before I throw it? You can get a bonus for throwing a curveball. If you spin the ball and then throw it, the ball will curve. The reason I do it is because when I'm flicking with my thumb, I have a tendency to throw sideways, so I feel like throwing a curveball pretty much just corrects for that automatic sideways throw. How do extra large and extra small affect both individual Pokemon and or overall gameplay? Currently, they don't affect it at all. It's just an interesting way to compare how big your Pokemon are with your friends. How do I turn off AR mode? When you're in a wild Pokemon encounter, there's a little switch that says AR in the top right corner of your screen. You just hit that, no more AR mode. Is there a huge map for Pokemon Go so you can see an area larger than in the game? Currently there's not, but we do know that Niantic is working on it. Right now you can use the Ingress Intel map, which shares location data with Pokemon Go. So to do that, you're going to go to ingress.com/intel, and it'll show you where the Ingress portals are, and a lot of those portals correspond to Pokestops or gyms in Pokemon Go. Are gyms limited to the number of Pokemon in them by their level? If your team already controls the gym, is there a way to beat out a trainer to place your Pokemon? Gyms are limited by level, and there's no way to replace a Pokemon that's already there. So if you want to add another Pokemon and there's no space for it, you do have to train that gym up to the next level. What's the spinning ball near the left top corner of the game for? That just indicates loading, or that the game is trying to communicate with the server. What's the difference between Power Up and Evolving? Power Up will increase a Pokemon's CP, where Evolving will evolve the Pokemon to its next stage. If you have two of the same type of Pokemon, should you always keep the one with higher CP? Usually, yes, but one thing you'll want to consider is what moves they have. If the Pokemon with higher CP has two moves of the same type, you might want to consider keeping one with lower CP, but with two different type moves. Does the arrow on the right point towards the closest Pokemon, or just north? It just points north. How do I find out how many candies and Stardust I have? When you're looking at a Pokemon summary screen, you'll see the total number of Stardust you have, and you'll also see the total number of candies you have for that species of Pokemon. How do I walk? You get up and walk. If you want to move around in this game, you actually have to move your feet in the real world. Where did you get that Pokemon shirt? This Pokemon shirt? This was part of a limited print run that we did before the game launched, so if you want to get a shirt like this, stay tuned to the channel and we'll announce another run soon. Alright, that's all the questions for this episode. If there's anything that I didn't answer and you want to know, go ahead and ask in the comments below. In the last episode, I said that we were going to do a giveaway at 10,000 subscribers, and less than 9 hours later, we are at 10,000 subscribers. So I'm going to announce that right now. We're going to be giving away 3 of these shirts, and they come in a ton of different colors, so if you win, you're going to have your choice of any color you want. We're also going to be giving away a Pokemon Go Plus accessory. We managed to pre-order an extra one, so whenever that ships, we're going to be giving that away as well. So if you want to be eligible for these giveaways, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. Over the next couple days, we'll pick our winners, and we'll announce them one at a time in our upcoming videos. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. I heard there might be a cafe with some Wi-Fi down there, so hopefully we can get you guys some gameplay for today. Let's check it out. Okay, I made it. The cafe is supposedly down at that end of the lake, so I'm going for a walk.